Hi, my name is Erin, and I'm here to talk about positive propaganda. I work with a US-based, now becoming an international organization called Shout Your Abortion, or SYA. And we began as an abortion storytelling organization, as a place where people could share unapologetic, truthful abortion stories of all kinds in their own words. So sharing abortion stories is still a big part of what we do, but we also focus on sharing information and making cultural change around abortion stigma. And this means finding creative, attention-grabbing ways to influence the cultural narrative around not only abortion, but self-managed abortion with pills outside of the medical system. And this includes PR stunts, like the one in the first photo, if you want to show the first slide. So this is a photo of some of my team taking mifepristone outside of the US Supreme Court before the decision which brought down Roe versus Wade. So this action is a good example of what I'm calling positive propaganda. So everyone's familiar with the concept of propaganda. It's basically like a communications tool, and it might use emotional imagery or loaded language. And the goal with propaganda is to produce an emotional response versus an intellectual response. Excuse me, I'm an introvert, so I'm not used to speaking this long. So as governments around the world know, emotional responses are super powerful. And anti-abortion groups know this as well. And now they are using propaganda to frame abortion pills as something that's dangerous and scary, using descriptions like chemical abortions, or spreading stories about abortion pills infiltrating groundwater supplies, causing people to hemorrhage, and other ridiculous but emotionally attractive theories. Can we go to the next slide, please? So one tenet of effective propaganda is that what people see or hear often, they start to perceive as normal and acceptable. And antis are very good at this, at flooding the media with their ideas about abortion. But we can also play that game. So the first slide I showed you with the photo of us taking pills at the Supreme Court, that had an agenda, and that was to popularize abortion pills both as a concept and as a safe option in the US. And this action was accompanied by a flurry of activity focused on abortion pills. And we used pill boxes like this in all of our actions. So we had stickers, we had posters, we had murals, we had people building the Supreme Court replica out of like abortion pill boxes, all kinds of things. And some of the information was informational, and some was simply focused on bringing the phrase and the image abortion pills into the mainstream narrative. So this brings up another tenet of propaganda, which is that if you stage an effective event, the media will share your information for you. So mainstream media picked this up, and even a lot of anti-abortion media were sharing these photos, sharing information sometimes very effectively about abortion pills. They were sharing information on where to find them, how to use them, where to get them outside of the medical system. And this is all because it's an effective image, an effective phrase, it's easy to remember, and it has emotional staying power. Okay, can you go to the next slide, please? Okay, another tenet of effective propaganda is to never defend, but declare. And anti-abortion campaigns have been very effective at consistently putting us on the defense. For instance, like, I'm not a murderer, my abortion was an exception, etc. When what we want is a good offense. So I want to talk about some of the powerful tools that we have on our side to create positive propaganda. This photo shows a couple of our strengths, including humor, playfulness, and self-determination. So I don't know what it is, but I feel like anti-abortion groups are lacking in all those things, especially in humor. And this photo was fun. I just did it one day with a friend of mine who builds cars. We thought it was funny. I had a lot of fun photoshopping it on like very serious American monuments like Mount Rushmore or something like this, just to show that I'm actually celebrating my abortion and I'm grateful for it and I'm not defending it. And another thing we have on our side is artistic capability. I think that the art coming out of anti-abortion campaigns is actually objectively pretty bad. So an effective positive propaganda tool is to bring actual artists into the mix, to study the work of effective arts and PR campaigns. And another thing that's interesting to potentially study and emulate is the power of advertising. So I'm from the US, so of course we love like selling people things. So I think it's interesting and effective to study how advertising affects us psychologically. What makes people feel like they need something, or what makes something feel like it's normalized? And how can we apply these techniques to our pro-abortion pills messaging? Okay, can we go to the last slide? Okay, I want to wrap things up here with some next steps and where I think we can aim some of our collective propaganda techniques. As the right wing becomes more powerful in governments across the world, and abortion potentially becomes more inaccessible legally, we can focus positive propaganda around abortion pills, that they are safe, effective, cheap, used every day across the world, and you can have them on hand at home even before you're pregnant. So this slide is a still from a short series of films. They're just like 30 to 90 seconds long that we recently created at SYA. There's no narration, so they're understandable in many contexts. And the films show different people who need abortion pills and they already have them at home. One scenario is a single mom, and one is a teen girl who's helped by her friends through an abortion at home. And in both cases, the people already have the pills at home. The overall effect is warm, loving, determined, and shares the message that pills are safe and normal to have at home. And it also shares the messaging that so many groups and people around the world already know, that abortion is something that can be, and often is, a community experience, and the people around you can help you navigate that experience. So the last thing I want to say is that I am planning an international propaganda action around abortion pills, aka Miffy and Miso, aka missed period pills. And this is going to be around the World Cup, which will be partly held in the US in the summer of 2026. So if anybody is interested in being part of this action, please email me. It's Erin, E-R-I-N, at shoutyourabortion.com. And I also invite you to visit our website, shoutyourabortion.com, where you can watch the films, get tools like organizing kits, posters, abortion pill how-to booklets, crafting ideas, clothing, and much more. And you can also share your personal abortion story with us on our website. So thank you for having me, and remember that abortion pills are safe, effective, and anyone can have them on hand, learn how they work, and share pills or information about pills with others, no matter what the law says. Thank you.